Okay, so I applied to universities in literally over the world. Not the best decision of my life, but I used this portfolio that I'm gonna show you right now for all of them. A little background about me: I'm an international student. I'm from Romania, but I'm currently in Switzerland. And I applied and got accepted to universities in the United States, in the United Kingdom, and France for right now, but I've also applied to other universities, and I'm gonna do a reaction video and tell you more about which universities I applied to and which to which I got accepted. But before I do that, and before I get all of my applications, this is my last day in Romania for probably a long time, so I want to show you some of my paintings that I have in person, and also some digital photos of them because I sold some of them. So I've been painting and drawing and whatever. I've started doing art when I was probably 7 or 8. Well, I drew for a long time before that, but I started taking it more seriously, or like as serious as you could at that point in your life. I was horrible. If you want to see my art journey, I made a video about that, and it's gonna be posted at some point in the like this week or next week. And I've also made my kindergarten art, so you can see my progress if you want to see my progress. But in any case, I started doing art extremely seriously and learning anatomy and actually focusing on it in 8th grade, so that's 4 years ago. And I started getting good at it 3 years ago, from my perspective. So most of the paintings that I put in my portfolio are from 2 years ago or 1 year ago, or like in the past 3 years, I would say, max. And I've also written some descriptions for them, so if I'm gonna read them off my computer, because most of the descriptions are made for the US, because they want like deep whatever, but I use them in the UK, and well, I didn't use them in Europe because they don't let you write anything on your portfolio, but I use them for most of the other universities except for France. Okay, so my first piece is this one. It's called Stop Their Silence, and I wrote, "In power, what does the female body represent in our society? Why can a hair strand kill? Yes, what is happening here in Iran is one of the many reminders of our misguided perception. But let's not forget it in a few months. Let's cling to it. Let's make a difference." I sold it 3 days ago, so I don't have it in physical format. But it's my first acrylic painting portrait that I did in my whole life, so yeah. The next piece, I actually have it. It's huge, as you can see. I don't know how to hold it actually. Okay, I'm gonna just put it here. No, because you can see it. Anyway, it's pretty much acrylic but mixed media, and this is made on a paper and then I just glued it over. Those were like 2 different paintings, but I thought they would go together, and then I just made the little humans. I made this 1 year ago or something like this, 2 years ago, something like this, in 2022 in the beginning. It's called Collision. What happens when we leave the standards, expectations, and perception of the female body lifeless? We become nothingness. We submerge and unite. We become one, yet we lose ourselves. I like doing, like, saying them dramatically, because I feel like this thing is very dramatic in every way possible. Okay, moving on. The next piece I did, was, I also have it. Wait, I have it with me. It's this piece. Oof. It's huge. At some point I did measure them, but now I don't have the measurements. But anyway, it's huge. It's called It Comes and Goes in Waves, and it was initially about depression, but I wanted to make my portfolio a cohesive, at least the start of my portfolio cohesive. So the first part is about beauty standards and the standards we put on ourselves, and it kind of flows from beauty standards to mental standards, or you'll see. How do I hold this so you can? We are sailing in a sea of weapons we craft, drowning in the expectations we unconsciously create for ourselves and the ones around us. The song Waves by Dean Lewis inspired this painting. The verse, It Comes and Goes in Waves, reminded me of how our expectations change as time goes by. The verse, It Comes and Goes in Waves, reminded me of how our expectations change as time goes by. Our standards change as our society progresses. They go back and forth in time, but they never lose their importance or their effect on our mental health. Initially it was about depression, but I think I have the description about depression because I also like that one. Yeah. Okay. Imagine being on a boat in the middle of a storm. What do you feel? Anxiety? Fear? Stay there for a longer time. Realize that your chance of survival is almost non-existent. You can change your situation. At some point in the storm, you'll be swallowed whole, but you don't know when. What do you feel? Are you terrified? Imagine spending a few minutes, hours, days, months like that. Imagine being in a never-ending storm, a constant fear of everything around you. The clouds, the wind, the waves, being stuck in the dark, in the constant movement that both kills you and keeps you alive. Do you want it to end? Or do you want to keep living, alone, without seeing any light? This piece represents a simplified version of depression, but it can also be a stage in life. I changed, so when the portfolio needed to be less than 25 pieces or 30 pieces or something like that, or 20 pieces, I cut down from the first part, from the expectations, standards, whatever that I was trying to do, and I used this description instead of the other one because I like this one better, but it didn't fit with the whole thing I was trying to convey. Okay, the next one is also a big acrylic painting. All of those that I showed you are acrylic paintings. Oh, this one. Oh my god, I'm so proud of this one. You don't know how proud I am. I'm sad. I'm mad that you cannot see it properly. Anyway, in any case, this piece is called Pink for obvious reasons. And initially, I was just trying to have fun with it, and like it didn't have any meaning, but I tried to make it have a meaning after some time. So here it is. The pink bear, the guitar, the slipper, the perfume my mom bought me when I was 9. They are now rotting in the basement. Pink defines so much of the standard a young girl should reach. Cute, girly, sweet. Color is a form of expression, not repression. This is smaller than the other pieces I made, but it's still a big one. I promise not all of my pieces are so big. The next one I put was this one. Is a charcoal drawing, and I made it when I was in 9th grade, so 4 years ago. I wanted to put this in just because I didn't have anything charcoal, and I did a lot of charcoal things throughout my life, but none of them fit what I was trying to convey, and also none of them were that good. So this one was dramatic and it fit the story, so I was just like, okay, let's put it. And I didn't have any anatomy in it, in my portfolio, so I was like, okay, this is the time. It's called Perfection, and I wrote, I distinctly remember my ballet teacher's yell. The high pitch silenced the whole room with a single phrase. You are not yet perfect. Who or what defines perfection? Continue. um, the next one is I did it. Wait, where did I put it? I don't have one of it. Okay, so I'm gonna put the digital thing here. I don't have the half of it, but this is one half. And I didn't have enough space to put in my portfolio, and I thought those two were really similar and, well, not similar, but I thought I could like mix and the things that were around them, whatever. So I just combined them in Photoshop and did one thing, and I also had a concept idea for it. Initially, this was about body dysmorphia, and the other one, the one that I will put here, was about how we are breaking from ourselves. And I thought it was kind of the same concept but reversed. So the title is Chaos, and I wrote, changing ourselves always leads to chaos. But how are we supposed to deal with our own image when each person in our life has their own expectation of us? We either struggle and fail to change ourselves, or if we succeed in building our perfect statue, we live in constant fear of its breaking. I love this. I love every single description I made because I also love writing and creating stories and stuff. So I worked so much on making every single word count and whatever, because I didn't want to make something extremely like big and whatever. The next one is about cancer. Wait, I have it here, and it's a smaller piece. The other ones were also acrylic and with Photoshop. This is also acrylic. It's about cancer, and this I made this in like 3 hours. Before going to school, I woke up at like 4 a.m. For some reason, I couldn't go to sleep, so I just made this because I had like a nightmare. So it is called Body Signs, and I wrote, we are so concerned with touching the standard that we are oblivious to the actual issue, our health. Our body is constantly signaling its real flaws, but only after diagnosis do we start noticing. The next one is my book cover, and this is like it was initially an acrylic painting that, like, this is the sketch of the painting, but then I put it in Photoshop and made like the whole cover of it, and then I published the book. So it's called Dissociative Identity Disorder, and I put in parentheses book cover for Letters in the Dark, which is the name of my book. And I wrote a whole thing on it. So hold on tight, because this is huge. Because I have a lot to say about dissociative identity disorder. So I wrote, dissociative identity disorder is the most controversial mental disorder. Having multiple personas inside someone's brain sounds surreal to most, and many believe it is made up. Why? Because it's so different from the standard that most people fear its sole existence. Every popular piece in the entertainment industry that covers this topic either portrays it as dangerous, like the movie Split, for example, or an isolating experience, like the series Mr. Robot. In my journey of writing and publishing Letters in the Dark, the main character of which struggles with the AD, I shared other unknown pieces of fiction on the topic. The industry needs more diversity in terms of how underrepresented parts of the world are shown. It isn't only good and bad, safe or dangerous. There's a range of human emotions in each experience portrayed by the media. But in the case of rare circumstances, it tends to create a small box that limits them to one single characteristic. The cover is inspired by The Minds of Billy Milligan by Billy Milligan. This is a book that I've read. Well, try to read. And I've read somewhere and also watched a lot of videos and whatever, and came up with the conclusion that if you say you've inspired yourself from different parts and different things, whatever, you sound more intellectual, so I just did that. The next piece is a collage. Well, I don't have either of the the drawings and the sketches with me right now because they're in my sketchbook in Switzerland. But this is like, I made the sketch with the eagles in the center. The color pencil one was separate from the other ones, and the other ones were on a page, and then I just photoshopped them into a beautiful collage because the initial pieces, well, they looked decent, but I wanted to do something more, I don't know, extra. So I wrote, "What are you scared of?" I fear predators, both physiological and physical. So I challenged myself to look them in the eye and reproduce their power. As I was drawing them, I realized, shouldn't they be afraid? Aren't I the one shaping their very form right now? This is way more deep than it should be. Like, it's, I just like eagles, and eagles are my like Petruna's character. Well, eagles and a black cat, and they're also my favorite animal probably. Like, when I was younger, I would say I either want to be an eagle or a dragon. When people ask me what do you want to be if you were an animal, what would you choose? The next one is a snake, and also I'm obsessed with snakes. So I had a moment when I was obsessed with snakes. So this is the what came out of it. It's in a watercolor, and the title is Power. Let's take fear one step further. Realism. Our fear just became a detailed creature staring at us. It is coming to life from the page. Or maybe it's standing back. Maybe it fears me now. Again, drama queen, but apparently it worked, so it's fine. Why do I keep going? I keep getting out of the document for some reason. I don't know why. Because of this mouse. Yeah, I think that's a problem. Okay, so mostly after this, I only put like, I've probably put this portrait piece. I usually change the order based on the number of pieces that I could put in the portfolio, because for example, for Stanford I had 9 or 10 pieces, I think 10. For Yale I had 8, and for other universities I had 15, 20, 25, even 30, even I was allowed to add a website or a PDF, so I changed the order so it would fit the, it would make sense but also fit the requirements. This is just a collage of sketchbook drawings. Like, most of them are from this sketchbook, but I don't think I can find them. I probably cannot find them. I don't think I put this one in. I don't know, I just have random drawings from probably this sketchbook and 2 others. I don't know. I had a phase with portraits and people and whatever for a while, so this is the result. And I just wrote portraits. Drawing portraits is my way of understanding people. Drawing portraits is my way of understanding people's personalities. How would the stranger in front of me look if they were an animated character? What about a game hero? Would they have sharp features, being bold in nature? Or are their eyes softer? What is the most used facial expression? which color defines them? This was like, again, I was trying to make deep every single thing I had in my portfolio, even though they weren't deep in the first place. Like, those are just Pinterest pics, and the girl in the middle of the downwards portion is just Jinx from Arcane. So some of them aren't even my characters. Then I put now I'm starting to add things from my personal project, which is a concept for an animation show that I was coming up with, and those are like some spread works, basically a project proposal for animation, because for some of the colleges I applied for animation program, and for some of them I applied for visual arts and design or something like that. So I added a lot of not digital but more design-ish, animation-ish, whatever, character design pages. So the first one I wrote as a title, main character, and then a line, and then light side exploration, because that I have two main characters in the story, and then I just put in brackets memories. Then for the description I wrote, Memories is a concept proposal project for a future animated movie. The project is about the acceptance of loss, of the big changes and obstacles we encounter in our journey, and of our limiting fears. Feelings! And of our limiting feelings. The story is centered around the main character, Alec, who is moving out of his childhood house. Inside his brain, two personas are fighting over what he should feel, which memories he should keep, and which he should let go of to make space for new ones. This is a study of the positive side of the main character, the side containing his adaptability, growth, mentality, and his free spirit. This is the part of him that takes risks, that loves change, that is lively and loves learning from life's lessons. It makes the phrases so long, they're so hard to read. Anyway, his wings reflect the freedom he has because of his light approach to life, and his yellow and orange costume shows his energetic and optimistic personality. This was like ink, markers, acrylic painting, and digital collage thing. It was mixed media. Okay, I think I have some of it here, but I don't think I have everything. Well, I'm sure I don't have everything. What is this? Oh, this one? I have only this one. Yeah. I don't, no. I have more. This one. And this one. They're this big. They're not that big, but they're not A4. Some of them are A4. This one is A4. And this one. I hate this one. I hate it, but I needed to put it in because it's I put in more for the arrangement of the characters in the page. So I wanted to show that I could position my portfolio right, even though it's not necessarily, they're not the best drawings ever. Anyway, moving on. The next piece I put was the main character dark side exploration of memories, and I wrote, his other side represents what we usually call the dark side. The part of us in need of hiding from the world and sometimes from ourselves, commonly known in astrology as our moon sign. The version of I do not believe in astrology. I put that in just to sound interesting. The version of the character carries a tight fog around him, portraying how the negative part of us, the fear, the hate, the pain, isolate us from reality. Powerful, somber feelings block our overall vision, making us see only through cracks. When we are overwhelmed by emotions, or our surviving mechanisms narrow our sight, forcing us to see everything in shades of black with rare breaks of light. The light shone is usually the safe approach and not necessarily the one which will bring us the most joy. But it is the only one we are able to see. I hate myself for making so long sentences because I have so much trouble reading out loud, because I usually read way faster than I speak, so I get confused over the words mix up. So I'm sorry for that. The next piece I put I have this from this collage and this. And this is actually the sketch, like the spread sketch for my sculpture that I have in my room, and I'm gonna show it to you. But oof, okay. Oh my god, why is it so? Okay, so this is the sculpture that I put next. Oh. It's so hard to hold, so I'm just gonna put it here because it's clay, but it's a clay that, I don't know, makes itself. It's a special type of clay that condenses itself to make a stable thing, like a sculpture thing, whatever. Anyway, I wrote the title A Generic Study of Good and Bad, and I wrote the sculpture represents a fighting shot of the two versions of the main character. The clay is a mix of multiple colors, showing the world not only in black and white, but also in variations and imperfections. Even if the dark character apparently hit the yellow one, the balance of good and bad in life is pushing the positive character's leg to hit back. The shot is one of equilibrium, almost like the calm before the storm. The ground in the middle, the ground is made from the dark character's clay, meaning they are playing on the darkness's terms, which we almost always are. The next piece I put was a storyboard, also for this project, and I have only one. I think the first part of the storyboard with me, and the other one I have no idea where I put it, and they should be together because I have no reason to separate them or whatever. I wrote just storyboard for memories, and then I wrote too much. Okay. The first scene of the project takes place in the main character's room. It is his final day in his old house, and everything around him is packed in boxes except for some objects that he cannot get himself to take away. The camera zooms on his face as he is sitting in a corner of his room, overwhelmed by his emotions. He broke his mirror days ago, but cleaning would have made the move more real, so he left everything into place, as if time could freeze. Zooming closer to the shards he's holding. Zooming closer to the shard he's holding in his hand, we see a close-up of his eye, a first glance at his two personas fighting behind his tears. We are transported to his thoughts, from his room to a first memory he struggles to leave behind. I'm never gonna see my grandparents' circle performance before. I'm never gonna see my grandparents' circus performance again. We enter in a carnival setting, as the positive side is shown against Alex's favorite attraction, the ground wheel. Here, Alex's positive version finds the box in which he packed all of his most important objects. I try to describe everything, the concept behind the storyboard, because even though it is sort of clear, if you don't know the story, then you're like, what the hell is going on? So I just described everything. Then this is made with markers. Then I had Alex's room 3 days before the move, again in brackets, memories. This was visual development room design, and I have the part that I did on paper with me. This is what it looked like initially, and then I went into Photoshop and like designed the actual room and the other day scenes, like the room as it is seen in different parts of the day. And I wrote, Alex's room shows his passion for geography and astronomy. His room hasn't been decorated since he was 11, when he had an obsession with fantastical, creepy creatures, more specifically phantoms. The remaining objects are the ones which hold the most meaningful of his experiences. In the top left corner, the three rough sketches of the room portrayed in different times of the day show how the room remains the same as the struggle of accepting the move persists. I kind of wanted to make this piece, even though it was just a concept, also very related to the story and very related to what is going on in the story. So that's why I made the morning, afternoon, night parts of the day little sketches. Then this is entirely digital. Carnival Design Memories, that's the title. And I made this on my tablet, on my computer. And I wrote, as the viewer enters the mind of the main character, the first memory they see is one from the carnival. As our memories tend to merge together and change in time, his carnival attraction, rides, and circuit visits are portrayed as a single flashback. Here I really did not know what to write because it's just a carnival concept. And it wasn't initially made for this story. Like initially everything was separate and then I just tried to make everything together. Like this whole story had nothing to do with carnivals until I realized that I have too many things with carnival and circle things, so I just merged the two stories together. Then another fully digital piece is called Character Lineup, in brackets memories. The majority of Alex's extended family is either part of the circus or part of the series of events surrounding the city he is to live in. So the energy of carnival and circuses feels like a home to him. Even if he meets the aerial dancers, jugglers, mimes, and ringmasters every year now, as he is recalling his experiences, he can't distinguish their faces. If I can't remember their faces now, how much time will it take me to forget them completely? I have no idea how to draw faces in digital art in color. So that's why the characters don't have faces. But because everything was memory related and the whole concept was whatever, I was like, okay, let's use that in my advantage and make this piece deep, even though it's just a character lineup. So I wrote about the fact that even if you see a person every day, if you don't see them for 5 years or like for 1 year, if you really think about the details of their face or like of their appearance and whatever, you don't remember everything 100% clearly. So that's what I was trying to convey. As you can see, I was trying to fake and like cover the things that I couldn't do so I could put my best foot forward. So that's why I didn't try to make faces on those characters, because I found a way to leave them without faces and leave them in a decent form. Because if I would have put like faces on it and like try to draw them, they would look horrible. I'm just saying. The next things I put in was oh my god. Okay, this is a collage. And this is called Society of Dragons. And I don't think I only have one from this collage, I think, or two. Okay, so I have this one. Okay, no, I don't have many. No, I have this one. So I have those two. And those two are, this is watercolor, this is acrylic, and the other painting is also acrylic, and the dragon sketches are color pencil. So I wrote, what would our society look like if we were something else instead of humans? What if we were dragons? Same mind, different body. How would that change our infrastructure, way of living, standards? My fascination with dragons began when I went to the cinema for the first time, seeing the movie How to Train Your Dragon. I've never stopped studying their forms, tendencies, or differences between cultures and species, nor their appearances in the media. Since I discovered their existence, I slowly created an imaginary universe in which they could live, a comfort zone. I decided to share that comfort zone with the world by questioning its philosophy. So here I try to make a description that started with questions, philosophical questions, and then ended with the fact that I turned an interest into philosophy. So I seem smart. And I had a big passion for dragons, big passion, but it didn't start with How to Train Your Dragon, it just started randomly. So I added How to Train Your Dragon because I'm applying for the animation, well, I'm applying for the entertainment industry and the film industry, so I wanted to show that I've been influenced by the entertainment industry in some way to make this piece. The next piece I made, and I don't think I only have this from it, but this is again a collage, and I only put this one and this one in it. Yeah. I don't have anything else because I think oh no, I have one. Wait, I also have this one, which is the center one, but the other ones are from a sketchbook that I don't have right now, and I've probably lost. Whatever. Moving on. From a desire to show the world the beauty of my home city, Bucharest, I decided to draw something small in my sketchbook each time I saw an interesting building or a unique restaurant interior design in my daily life that sparked my interest. I didn't want to make this deep because I thought, well, it's just architecture and I just want to show architecture, so I just wrote something small. And the title is On the Streets of My Childhood. The next one, I'm so proud of this, but I don't think I have all of them, or do I? Yes, I have all of them. So it's called Black and White, and it's an analysis, well, not an analysis, a debate on religion, but not really. So this is the centerpiece. This is bigger than all of them. I made this when I was in 9th grade, so 3 years and something ago, like almost 4. This is the one in the whatever. I do not know which one I put in which direction, so I will not make a fool of myself to say right or left. So those are the same size, but the other one is a little bigger. They're all ink on paper, but this is made with microns, and those two are made with actual the like pen that you use for calligraphy. And I wrote, we focus on memorizing details instead of understanding the big concepts. We lose ourselves in lessons, rules, and ways of thinking created in the past, but only seen in black and white. I tried to make this as deep as possible, but there's not much you can do. Well, initially this wasn't a religion kind of thing. This is just a pic that I found on Pinterest. This is just something I randomly did because I love the architecture from Prague, and this I thought it would be it would fit better if I put something with dark colored background with all of this, because this kind of has also light and dark color, whatever. It has bigger concept than just this. So I was like, okay, let's take the middle of this and just detail it. So those two are not even the same place. Probably not. So yeah, I just cheated my way out of it. The next thing I put was here. I don't think this is the order. I forgot about this one, but I 100% put them in some sort of part. So when I didn't have enough space to put figure drawings separately, I made a collage with the perfection, like with the girl and with the dancer, and then put them in the part where I was talking about standards in that order. And I want to show you, this collage is made of a lot of pieces, but I want to show you how many pieces I actually did to come up with those in the center. So I did this one. Those are actually the ones that I put in, I think. Did I put this in? Did I? Okay, those are actually the one that I chose. This, I don't think I put there in. This, yes, but I don't like it. This is horrible. This is again horrible. This is, those are all made in like 1 minute or 30 seconds. 30 seconds probably. So I just rushed through them. But some of them are just horrible. Like straight up terrifying. Like, look at, anyway. And this is like a failed attempt, but whatever. So those did not look like that. Also, in some cases, if I can find it, but I don't think I can find it. Yeah, here. In some cases, I put a sketchbook page instead of this whole collage, because when I had 30 spaces to put my art in, I was like, okay, so we're not gonna waste. I just wanted to add all of the 30 spaces, and so I added a page of my sketchbook, but I cannot find it right now for some reason. Here. I'm so proud of this page with James. I don't know why. Anyways, and I did this for RISD. I did this for RISD, and probably just for RISD, or like Princeton maybe, because I think they had more. Okay, I cannot find it, but they were so. This is why I'm mad about. This is also something I put in my wait. This is also something from the collage. Any case, I think this is all. Is this all? No, this is not all. I also had okay. I had the technical pieces that I didn't show you, but I should have. And those were, I put them throughout, depending on where. I usually, I think I combined them with the portrait. Like I either put them before or after, but I didn't put them everywhere. I just put them in the places where I knew technical pieces needed to be whatever added. So like RISD and other art schools, and obviously France and England. So here are the two pieces, and I just wrote a technical study of Michelangelo's David. So this is David, and those are the eyes of David, and those are just pen drawings that I did. I didn't really put this every time, so this is it. Those are just some random oil pastel drawings that I did when I was younger, in 9th grade or something like that. Those were like, I was trying to figure out color and I was trying to figure out form, so those were just things that I was trying it out, but actually they look amazing for the level I had back then. Like back then I couldn't draw anything else except for like still lifes that are in this weird composition. So I wrote nature. More than anything, I took the process of studying blueberries, raspberries, and avocados as one of challenging my patience and awareness. As I took some fruits and vegetables from the kitchen, I decided to take a break from the digital world and analyze the nature around me. Okay, so for the sketchbook one, I wrote yesterday's sketchbook page because I wanted to be extra. And I wrote either from movies, graphic novels, or cafes. This is a page of people I found interesting yesterday. It wasn't from yesterday, it was from 2 years ago, but I was like, okay, why not make it interesting? And when I put the figure drawings alone, I wrote a study of beauty, gentle, delicate, curvy. The idealization of beauty forces us to have tunnel vision perspective on the potential of our humanity. Our perception of our bodies limits the range of our possible experiences. And this was all watercolor paint, and it was a Chinese ink for calligraphy. So those are all of the pieces that I put in my portfolio. Hope you enjoyed, hope you got something out of this. If you want to see other videos I made with my art progress, whatever, art, other things, I'm gonna link them, or like just search them on my profile, and probably I'll make more in the future because art is my life. In any case, hope you enjoyed. See you in another video and have the best day of your life. Kisses, bye bye.